Yo guys, what up? Me, Patrick LeVar, back again with another morning walk podcast. Changing it up. Instead of sitting in the house, we're gonna be out. I'm multitasking. I'm out doing my morning walk and making a podcast at the same time. There's no excuse. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. Make time, figure it out. Big kudos to Atomic Habits. I just been reading that recently, and habit stacking. I do my morning walk all the time, but why don't I habit stack my podcast on that while I'm also doing my morning walk? Through the advantages of technology, mobile photography, mobile filmmaking, mobile content. I got my cell phone here, small little handy little tripod here, microphone on here, boom. Screen recording, now we're making a podcast. Double that, we're making a video podcast. For those of you who are only listening to me on the podcast and those who can see me on YouTube, I am walking. Fantastic. Let's get straight to the business. Found this cool little article here from MUD or Mood Making Of. It says 8 creative outlet ideas for freelancers. And I thought there were some good ones here I wanted to share here. It says being a freelancer gives you more freedom than a 9-to-5, but the work can still be repetitive. Try these creative outlets for a better work-life balance. And that is true about being repetitive. I am fighting that now after making content on my original YouTube channel for 5 years. It is hard for it not to be super repetitive. So again, me changing it up, making new channels. I have multiple channels that I basically post to whenever I have an idea, or if I'm doing mobile photography, I post to that. If I'm doing 3D work from Blender, I post to that. So it gives me outlets so I can, if I'm getting bored of one thing, I'll switch up to something else. Let's go down and take a look at some of these ideas here. So we got here, I think the first idea was most appropriately starting a YouTube channel, which I will definitely back and say yes. If you are definitely, a lot of people get all scared. Oh, start a YouTube channel. I need this camera. I need the cool YouTube space. I need blah, blah, blah. No, all you need is a phone. That's it. That's how I started. I have a channel, Patrick LeVar, which I 140,000 subscribers, losing some by the day, unfortunately. Started on using a cell phone. All I posted was me on my adventures in Japan with a smartphone. Then I started posting about videos like how can you film and make better videos with your smartphone, then mobile photography, and just a whole plethora of stuff that I just kind of just went into my journey as a content creator with a smartphone and sharing that to give value back to people who might want to start doing what I was doing, or literally making content just using a cell phone. So don't think you need to have the hot YouTube setup like a lot of these big YouTubers have. You don't need that. Don't forget, everybody started with nothing, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the next one here. I actually probably should read some of the what they have written here. It says, starting a YouTube channel, you can provide a rewarding, long-term creative project for your work on. If you want to tie it directly into your business, there are several ways to start a YouTube channel. There are several ways that starting a YouTube channel can help you grow as a freelancer. Yes, it can. In the beginning, you may not have an idea or a niche, but just start. Just start putting stuff out there. If you don't, there's so many ways to do it now. I don't want to be seen on camera. That's okay. There's hundreds and thousands of faceless channels. Or you can even do what I'm just doing right now, reading articles back to people, because some people just don't want to read. There's somebody out there who does not want to read this article, but they will listen to somebody read that article to them. Audible, right? Audible. Half the books I've read the last couple of years have been Audible books. So you can do something like that. It says you can, of course, start a YouTube channel as a hobby. We recommend not thinking about which niche pays the most, because if you don't find them interesting, you won't stick with them 100%. If you come into the game thinking, I want to make this much money, wrong. You need to come in here with a passion, because you're not going to make no money in the beginning.
I went a year and a half before I made my first 25 cents on YouTube. And then when I did, my wife laughed at me. She's like, why are you doing that? You spent all this time and you made 25 cents. It is not about that. It was about me filming with my camera and having fun and enjoying that and wanting to share that love to people. So many people get caught up into coming in here thinking they're going to make the next quick buck. You probably have higher percentages doing some pyramid scheme than you would. YouTube is long term. As Sean Kennel says, it is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And it is true. If you do not come in here thinking that, like, okay, this is going to be 3 years down the line, a year down the line, you're going to be distraught, right? So just think long term, okay? Let's see, let's scroll up here. That was such a great line. That's why it was underlined. Next one, starting photography. Whoo! That's how I even started this whole thing. Before I was making videos on my phone, I was just taking photos. Photography. I live in Japan, so many photo opportunities. And I was like, how can I improve my photos? How can I improve my photography? Which led to, hey, let me just hit record and record a short video. And then that just morphed into what I'm doing today. But definitely photography is a good way to get in. I mean, people are like, you don't have to always just think about, you got to take pictures of people. The very first thing I started taking photos of consistently were flowers. They don't look at you weird when you take a picture. You're not going to get nervous taking a picture of a flower, right? And then you're not going to get weirded out if somebody's looking at you taking a picture of a flower. Go out, photography nature. It's the easiest way to get into photography with the less awkward feeling. I've been morphing into street photography, not the traditional taking pictures of people, walking around and like some of these days, people are just taking photos of people and posting them on it. That's not my vibe. My vibe is in street photography is interesting angles, geography, even geography, geometry, finding interesting geometry, lights, shadow, situations inside of here in Japan, which is like just, an alleyway in Japan is completely different than an alleyway in America. So I'm kind of finding where I'm fitting in this whole street photography thing, because I don't like taking pictures of people. It doesn't make me feel comfortable, so why should I take a picture of somebody and post it online? So, I'm finding what I like to do and the things that I'm into. So you got to find your niche there. Let's read a little bit about photography here. Photography is arguably the best creative outlet for freelancers. I agree. Many of us take pictures of our everyday lives anyway with our smartphones, capturing memorable moments like the time when we have children, dinner with friends. So why not take that to the next level and even take better photos? All right, that's perfect. You should always be trying to improve yourself. You can find cameras at affordable prices, but you don't necessarily need one in the beginning. There are several simple tricks you can do to try to improve your smartphone photography. Go to my Patrick LeVar, where I have literally hundreds of videos all about mobile photography, improvement, techniques, tricks, hundreds. And if you don't want to go to me, just search on YouTube smartphone photography and you'll get your mind blown, right? There's no excuse. Once you decided the photography is something that you might want to pursue further, you can invest in a DSLR or mirrorless camera. These for better details, and consider using one of these secondhand photography websites. Okay, that's great. Eventually you will want to if you take it serious, eventually you're going to want to upgrade your equipment. There are lots of cameras out there. I'm actually using a $200, at the time of this video, 13-year-old Canon EOS M, which was Canon's first mirrorless camera they've ever released. And I'm still using that as my daily camera. It's absolutely fantastic. And some of the photos I take on there, people are like, oh, what did you shoot this with, a Sony? I'm like, no, I shot that with a $200 13-year-old camera. They're like, well, what? It's not about the equipment. It's about how you use the equipment, knowing the things that is needed to get a good photo. And then when you do upgrade to some of that higher end equipment, it's just going to enhance everything, right? Because you already know how to make a so-so camera look great, or you already know how to make a smartphone camera look like it was shot on a high-end camera. So imagine when you get the high-end camera, it's going to be freaking awesome, right? Oh man, the screen is so dirty. All right, sorry for that small commercial break. Let's get back to walking here. All right, we're moving back on. Next one, number 3, writing a book. Now, writing a book, I don't like writing, so I can't really talk about something that I don't know and I don't enjoy. So, tip, don't, especially when you get on the internet, people like to, act like they know everything. It's okay. If there's something you don't know about, it's okay. People will actually accept you more for it, for telling them, hey, I don't know nothing about that, so I can't talk about that. I don't know nothing about writing a book, so let's read about this. I hope this person who wrote this knows a little bit about it. So let's see what they say. If you love writing, you will always like the idea of being a writer. You can try challenging yourself to put together a book. Books are an excellent way to demonstrate the experiences in a topic, and you can use them to build a personal brand and become more known in your industry. Very true. Like, I wish I had writing skills, because I would have cracked out several books about mobile filmmaking, mobile photography, content creation with a cell phone, but that's just not my thing. I'm not a writer. So best yet thing for me, doing this podcast, something like that. But technology now, especially with AI, I can literally write a book if I wanted to. All I have to do is just voice it out, record it audio, and then, translate that, have Chat GPT convert it into a book, basically, or an ebook. Ebooks are a great way to definitely get your stuff out there. So that might be something I actually might need to think about in the future. Let's see the next section here. Besides writing about what works, you can also pick several other ideas. For example, if you love traveling, consider write about your favorite travel trips or creating a travel guide to an area you know well. Whew, man, I mean, come on. Osaka, Japan, where I live, I can be on that all day and all night. Alternatively, if you enjoy storytelling, consider writing a fiction novel. Very good stuff there. Let's see what the next one is here. It says you can choose whether if you want to write an ebook, right, what I just said, or if you want to publish it to print. The latter is more experienced and requires looking for a publisher, but is worth it to see a physical copy of your work. That would be actually awesome. And that's one thing, me being a mobile photography, doing that. A lot of the photos, I never see them, but occasionally I would print a couple of them just to have it in my hand and hold it and look at it. And it was a different type of feeling, just to be like, yo, wow, an actual physical photo, instead of everything being so digitized. Another possible option is to publish an audiobook. You can pick up from various platforms to publish an audiobook. And that's what I was just saying again. Like, even those who don't like to be on camera, you can still type. There's so many AI talk to voice, talk to audio, and then you can use that as like I said, as an audio ebook. Most of the books I've read this year have all been based on audiobooks. I have basically a monthly subscription to Audible, where I get one free book a month for, I think, $15 or something like that. And I've been on it. I mean, geez, what is it? Habits. I can't think of the name of the book. I forgot the name of the book. I'll put them down in the description. But that's the only way I can get through a full book, is through audio. And standard reading, I just don't get through it. Especially reading on my phone, like a PDF file, I get distracted. For me, audiobooks is the way to go. Number four, start a blog. Fantastic. I'm not into blogging. I have several friends who do blogs and they love it, and they actually make a little bit of passive income off of their blogs here. It says, if you enjoy writing, but you don't want to put together a book, you've got other options. Blogging is one of the most established forms of sharing information online, and start your own can help you write the articles of interest to you. Moreover, you can use the platform to improve your voice and messaging. Very true. Blogging is a thing. It's been a thing for a long time. And if you do it good and you do it right, it opens up many doors for you. Especially now with ChatGPT, it can only help you so much. Like, it's even got me thinking about trying to put together a small blog page, just because now ChatGPT can help me do that. Like, I don't like writing, so I'm trying to use AI to to my strengths or to my weaknesses, things that I don't like doing. I don't like writing. I'm not proficient in writing. What? ChatGPT, yo, help me out there, right? So another thing, you can start a blog on your freelance website, but you may want to write about something more entirely different. In this case, building a separate website is a wiser idea. After choosing a domain name, website, or website builder, you can begin populating your site with content. And then again, you don't even need to pay for it. I mean, there's so many free options for a website out there now. I think what's it, WordPress, like you just go out and just sign up, right? There are so many free options to put your blog up. If you don't have a huge budget in the beginning, you can choose one of the top free website hosting services, which I just talked about there. Generating traffic will take time, but you can enjoy great success if you remain consistent over an extended period of time. Let me back up on that. If you remain consistent over an extended period of time, it doesn't matter what you get into, especially in the social game, content creation. You gotta be in it. You gotta be, oh man, you gotta think marathon. Don't think sprint. Think marathon. I think that's the biggest killer for so many people who want to start doing content creation. They get burnt out in a month or 2 months or 3 months because they're not seeing the results they want to see. It took me 5 years to get my channel where it is today. And then as far as me, I'm still not happy where it's at. Like, I felt it should have been so much better, but I learned a lot in the last 5 years. So what am I doing now? I'm starting 3 more new channels. What? Yeah, but I'm in the game. I'm in it for the long run. It's gonna take another probably 5 years, but maybe it might be a little bit quicker. Let's take a moment, a small commercial break for those of you who are watching here on YouTube on the video. Take a look at these flowers. Absolutely fantastic. Look at this, guys. Just look at that. That's absolutely beautiful and awesome. The color is just so rich. I would be taking a photo, but I'm recording right now. So let's get back to it. Like I was saying, you got to be in it for the long haul. You will be happier if you think about it in the long term and be in it for a long time. Because, I got videos on my channel, which I'm still making a little bit of sense on, some money on long term. They've been posted 5 years ago and I'm still making $3, $4, $5 on them. That's fantastic, but that's thinking long term, right? I wasn't thinking about at the time when I made this video, oh, I hope this video makes me $1 million. No, I was just trying to put out value content for my viewers. Okay, let's get to the next one. Number 5. Drawing and painting. Woo! Something I used to do before I even had a phone, and something I enjoyed doing when I was younger and in high school. And eventually, as soon as I got my phone, that stopped, right? But if you are still drawing and painting, this is good times for you. Good times for you. Drawing and painting are an excellent option for using your hands more than expressing your thoughts and feelings. So true. It says you can start with the basic sheet of paper, pencil, that you may already have laying around your house, and over time you can upgrade you can upgrade it to the finer pieces of equipment. If you like spending more time on screen, drawing and painting are great outlets that force you to disconnect for a minute. I think I said that backwards. Basically, if you're spending too much time on screen, these are a great way to get off of it. And it is true. Grab a pencil and paper and write it down. Something I struggle with. Like recently, I've been into notation, right? And I'm like, oh man, I got to make my to-do list on notation. I got to make my habit tracker on notation. And I'm like, you know what? Slow down, tiger. Slow down, tiger. I'm like, you know what? Just get back to pencil and paper, because I found in myself like, oh, now I got to go in, I got to sign in, and what was my password? You know what? By the time I figured that all out, I could have grabbed the pencil and paper and already jotted down the notes. So literally trying to still keep some of the writing, drawing, pencil, paper, hold it, touch it. It's a thing. 6. What we're doing here, launch a podcast. Now this is something I've been trying to pick up and I'm trying to stay consistent with. It's hard. It is not easy, but I want to try to, I'd rather do something than not do it. My consistency with my podcast at the moment has been up and down, but I'm showing up. I might not show up every week, but I'm showing up. I'm trying to show up. I'm trying. Launching a podcast, which I would definitely try, especially you can go faceless, right? If you enjoy having conversations, podcasting is an excellent outlet. You can keep your podcast as a hobby, which I'm doing right now, but you may also want to make it one of an extension of your freelancing services to demonstrate your experiences, which I'm also doing. When launching a podcast, you can decide whether if you want to interview people. Back up. When launching a podcast, you can decide whether if you want to interview people that you may not have particularly met. Another option is to schedule time with your friends each week, talking about topics that interest you, or simply to have an unconstructed conversation like you would in real life. Podcasting is great. I think it's something I wish I would have jumped on earlier. For those of you who don't know, YouTube is trying to attack it right now because it's a new big market. It's the next big thing, especially the video podcasting. You're going to sit in front of a microphone anyways and do your podcast. Just have a camera on. YouTube has dedicated a special podcast playlist system. Like they're literally they're trying to dominate everything. Vertical video, long form video, podcasting, audio. Like it's a thing now, right? And if you're not jumping on this, don't complain later on. Let's have a seat here. Don't complain later on. So definitely, this is something you might want to get into. And again, I'm doing it free. It's easy to set up free. I think the app that I'm using, what's the app? It used to be called Anchor. And the Anchor app was a free app that allows you to do a podcast right on your phone, which is absolutely fantastic. You can have the intro bumpers, the intro music, all that right on your phone. And then when you upload that, it automatically uploads it to Spotify. And if you set up the other things like, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, it would distribute it all out to those from that one app. Take a look at Anchor app. I'll have it. I think it's changed now. I think it's like Spotify podcast or something. Spotify basically bought them out, and now it's even better when it was before. Like this video podcast here, or this podcast here, once I upload the audio, matter of fact, I'm gonna upload the whole video to the app, and then it's automatically gonna have the audio. And if your phone is capable of playing it in Spotify, there'll be a small window that you can actually see the video. Absolutely fantastic. So over time, you can also consider combining your podcast with starting a YouTube channel. Doing so may help you reach a broader audience, and that is true. Especially, I'm taking a page from Sean Kennel, guys over at Think Media. He does this fantastically. He has this other channel called Think Media Podcast, and it's basically a podcast, and they just set up a couple of video cameras to capture everything. And then from there, he takes that content. So if you have a 30, 40-minute podcast, he takes that and cuts out pieces of it, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 11 minutes here. And he's got other video content also from that podcast. And he takes a bunch of snippets from it for video. He takes a bunch of snippets out that he uses for vertical video, TikToks, Instagram Reels, that type of thing, YouTube Shorts. So from a 40-minute podcast, you can actually have long form videos for YouTube and have some vertical video for short. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a great idea. And there's so much free software out there that will help you do that. Man, I can't think of the name of the software I'm using right now. I just started it a couple of days ago. I'm using the free version. It takes a full video. It cuts the video up into square aspect ratio, vertical aspect ratio, and then it uses AI to find interesting parts of it, and it cuts it into these small chunks where like if I'm talking about podcasting, it would automatically cut out the sections about podcasting, kind of label it with some, it reads the audio, so it knows what you're saying. So it will cut out a bunch of extra content that you can use to upload, which I've already done. If you take a look at my page, there's some content from a longer podcast, and it's made a bunch of great short videos, which I was absolutely fantastic over. So that's definitely something to look into. Number 7 here, creating Notion and Canva templates. Big time passive income right here, especially on the notation. Like I said, I've just been jumping into the notation. If you're not familiar with notation, it's like notes, take notes, but
on steroids, and it's free, which is actually really cool. Notion and Canva are two popular tools for online creators, and both of them let you create templates. With Notion, you can design templates for numerous purposes, such as making calendars for your content. Surely, Canva lets you design templates for social media, website launching pages, and more. Canva is actually really great if you don't have access to like Photoshop or something, or you're just getting in the game. Get you a free account at Canva. Get you a free account at Notation. Notation is going to help you get your thoughts down, organize your thoughts. Canva will help you visualize those thoughts with pictures and stuff like that. It's like, a watered down, super easy version of Photoshop. If you want, if if you want to help others on your creative journey, design and sharing Notation and Canva templates can be a fun way to do so. If you can decide also to monetize these, although you should first try them out yourself to be sure they're worth buying. Definitely very true. Like if you're gonna start to try to monetize, you gotta make sure you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about, especially in the Notation game and the Canva game, because there's other people. I would suggest go out and research what they're doing and look at what they're doing and decide if that's something you want to do. Number 8, designing mugs and t-shirts, which I've gotten into. I've got the merch down here. I don't have it on today, but definitely have the merch down below. If you love graphic design, you can also try making your own mugs, t-shirts as a creative outlet. Doing this can help you boost your career if you are a freelance graphic designer, but there's also things that you can also use in your personal life. I do have several accounts with Redbubble, Teespring. There's another one I have, I just can't think of it at the moment. And making designs, again, using Canva and stuff like that, just allows you to, like, I have a couple of shirts that says, I'm a mobile filmmaker, or I film stuff. And literally all that was done in using free software like Canva. Then you go to these sites like Teespring or, these passive income / graphic. You could put your stuff on mugs. Redbubble example. You can put your stuff on mugs, t-shirts, leggings, backpacks. There's just so much stuff that you can do, and none of it comes out of pocket. Like they will take their cut. They take a lot, but they will take their cut out of the process, the manufacturing of the t-shirt, getting the graphic up and getting everything, and then you get your little 10 cents out of it too. So, but there's some people who make a lot of money on that if you do it right, you do it good, and you've got a good niche or a good audience. There's lots of money to be made in that niche. A well-designed mug and t-shirt, you can choose all kinds of patterns and slogans. It's up to you if you want to keep them minimalistic or go for something more flamboyant. The only rule is that you should try to create something that you would enjoy making. No matter what you're doing out of all this stuff, you need to enjoy it so you can do it for a long time. Again, if you're trying to go in for something quick, I want to make t-shirts just to make money. Okay, well, you're gonna get burned out quickly because you don't enjoy making t-shirts. People who enjoy making t-shirts are the ones who prosper because they've been doing it. Oh, I've been making t-shirts for 7 years. Well, I've been making t-shirts for 7 months and I hate it, right? So you can use Canva to design your mugs. This will also ship designs to you. You can also, Canva is even trying to get into that market there too. So what is it? So pursue a creative outlet to enhance your freelance career. Even if you enjoy the projects you are working on as a freelancer, it is a good idea to have your own personal project that helps you inspire your creativity. First, you enhance your toolbox, and I don't say you enhance your toolbox and your skills, and adding new skills or improving the existing ones. But beyond that, you likely will find that your life is more fulfilling when you bring your ideas to life, which will result in becoming a better freelancer. And not even necessarily freelancer or content creator, just in general life. Sitting around watching Netflix all day and playing games is great, but it's there's lots of negatives to that too.
plus gaining weight, just sitting there binging in front of the TV, watching episodes of, Stranger Things, stuff like that. But having a hobby, doing something construction, getting creative flows, getting hand-eye coordination, doing something, creative. Definitely, there's more positives. It reduces your stress. There's just lots of more plus and benefits to it. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This is a little quick thing that I just wanted to jot down for you guys. I'm on my morning walk. Again, habit stacking. Boom, we can take a look there. Woohoo! Morning walk and making a podcast. Come on, 2023. This is it. Technology is so accessible to us. You just got to have the discipline and the willpower to want to do something with it, right? So, catch you guys in the next one. Patrick LeVar, keep filming, keep making content. It's the only way. Whoa, the screen went dark. It's the only way we'll get better. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.